up, everybody? Welcome back to the East of Stretford podcast. And we're coming off a high because we beat Chelsea 2-0, baby.
At Stamford Bridge. Fuck yeah.
At Stamford
Third
Bridge.
time.
Ollie has fucked Lampard 3 times this year. But there is a lot of controversy over this game. You know, we won, but did we win convincingly? And I think, even before watching this video, you guys know that VAR was the main talking point of this game. There was 3 main incidents, and I'll just quickly walk you guys through it before we go into the discussion. So the first one was the Maguire red, him kicking who in the nuts again?
Batshuayi.
That's right.
Batshuayi. He probably deserved it.
Yeah.
Azpilicueta's goal, was that a goal or not? And Giroud's goal at the end. Karthik, I want to start with you, man.
Yeah.
Was that a red? Was that a yellow? Was that like anything?
See, I think Maguire's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think I spoke to you guys about this too. I feel like there was like 10% intent there. I think everything else was just him falling over, and I do agree, like there was some level of intent, but I don't know if it was red card worthy. I think the way he played it off after that was also really smart by Maguire. Like he didn't get too defensive and shit, so I think that kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt as well. But yeah, I mean I've seen those given as well, but yeah, for me like there wasn't that much intent. I just felt like wrong place, wrong time, mostly.
Vishnu, what about you?
Initially when I first saw it, I was, as being a biased Man United fan, I just went, get out of here. There is no way that's a red card. And so with strong opinions, because as soon as he did it, like Karthik said, he had no reaction. He was smiling because I think it was very close to the Chelsea support stuff, the touchline. So you can see them asking for a foul or red card and stuff like that. But Maguire played it off easy, saying that, I couldn't have done anything. And then went through it again where it does seem like it was just momentum. As he was falling down, he had to sort of save himself. But we saw Son get a red card for this when Tottenham. So, and then I talked to you guys and I kind of wanted some assurance. And then, it's definitely, for me, it's definitely a red card.
I know.
Yeah. It had like a massive impact to the game as well.
Dude, it's 100% a red card. Son got red carded for Rudiger earlier in the year. It was way less. Maguire's falling back, right? Your momentum is taking you back. He's saying he kicked his opposite foot to try and help Batshuayi stay up. What a motherfucker. I like it. I'm happy he stayed on.
I think there's some
idiot move.
I think I'm with you on the part where I liked it more than I think, which is why I'm probably also like, I don't know, man. I like the fight in our players. I don't know. It's dirty, whatever, but it's football, man. Like shit happens sometimes. But yeah, I mean, if it happened to me, I would have been, fuck yeah.
That's a Roy Keane worthy.
That's a
Roy Keane shit. But yeah, man. I mean, but then man, even when we play and stuff, like in the heat of the moment, like there are things you do and you're just like, fuck, did I just do that? Like, I think it happens, but yeah, I mean, if it happened to us, it's wrong. Yeah, I agree. Fuck you. Okay, I agree. All right.
So yeah, like Vishnu said, we all agree on something finally. But like Vishnu said, that had a huge impact on the game later on. So this is why I think overall Chelsea just got really dicked by VAR. But let's move on to the second one first. The second one was Azpilicueta's goal being disallowed off of a corner for pushing Brandon Williams. Vishnu, you go ahead and start on this one. What do you think? Do you agree with the decision?
Looking back at it again, because it was kind of a chain reaction, sort of what happened. I'm not sure. It was off a corner, wasn't it? I'm not sure who had taken.
Yeah.
But then it was Azpilicueta. Was it Zuma as well who was involved in it? Not sure.
Yeah, Zuma's the one who scored. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Zuma scored.
Aspi was the one who made it.
Yes, exactly. So I think it was it wasn't worthy of a foul, what Fred had done. I think it was just like a gentle sort of nudge. It wasn't even that much of an intent to bring down the player. But I feel like that did cause a reaction in a little way, because as soon as he was pushed or nudged, he did go two hands to try and stop himself as well. But in a way, he did find Brandon Williams in front of him, and that brought down the player, which helped Zuma connect the ball and get the ball in. Personally, I think that Fred's push or nudge, it's a corner. It happens every time. You're in like a huddle. You're always battling against your man mark player to try and get away from him or get away from the ball, or help at least your defenders try to shield the ball away from their defenders so your striker can get a good head in. So it happens all the time. So I don't think what Fred did was anything wrong with it. So for me, VAR got that right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Karthik, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm sort of with Vishnu, and also I think I completely agree with the fact that especially when you're waiting for any sort of set piece, you're always getting in a tussle with the defenders. So so I just felt like the more I rewatched the highlights, I could see, it took me a while to see Fred actually pushing Aspie, like so I wasn't really focusing on it, and then until like someone pointed it out, then I started looking at it. So it wasn't like the first thing that came that stood out to me. But the more I watched it, I guess there was a little bit of intention from Fred, maybe just to kind of like nudge him and get him out of the way. But I don't think it was enough for for it to go the other way. So I think to an extent, Aspie did have like an active movement on pushing Williams. So I don't think that was rightly decided by VAR, is my opinion. But
I agree.
It's unlucky for Chelsea. It's unlucky.
It's unlucky.
But I do agree with it.
I feel like this sort of like it comes under like a gray area where pushing, shoving in the box. You can't really blame the referees for this call because it's more like the benefit of the doubt. There isn't enough evidence there that what Fred did that would overturn their decision to overturn the decision, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I
agree. I thought it was a fucking amazing finish by Zuma. Like he did a great job. But I agree with you guys. I think it was not a penalty. I mean, it was not a goal. VAR got it correct. Because like you guys are saying, the first instance is Fred pushing him. And then VAR should assess, okay, is that a penalty? I think we all agree that's too light to be a penalty. Yeah. Then the second instance is, did the eventual push from Azpilicueta impact the goal? Which it did, because Brandon Williams, though he's short, he could have gone on the ball. So I think like VAR got it right because they can only focus on that. Even though he did get pushed, the momentum pushed him, but it still impacted the goal. So I think I agree with you guys. So 2 out of 2 we agree. VAR fucked up on the first one. VAR got it right on the second. And the third one is the Olivier Giroud goal, which again was another fucking sweet finish and kind of just shows our vulnerability on corners. Karthik, what do you think?
We really got away with that one for sure. I mean, it was literally a toenail offside, I think, wasn't it? So I mean, but it was offside though. We have seen offsides like that given before as well. So I guess if you're looking at just textbook wise, then that was an offside. But that also like opened up like the significant amount of weaknesses we have, when it comes to handling set pieces or crosses and stuff like that. So so it was scary, but we got away with that one, and hopefully like that's some sort of an awakening where we try to work on that more. But that's mine.
Vishnu.
I think Maguire was man marking Giroud when this happened. So he got away from the ball somehow, which is hard for me to understand because Maguire had such a great game. He was winning a lot of aerial duels and he was defending like a champion. So first I was a bit puzzled about why that happened in the first place. But it was a brilliant ball. Not sure who assisted that, but it was a top class ball. Great finish. It was good to see Giroud. I do feel bad for the guy because he has been sort of made the third striker of Chelsea after Batshuayi and obviously Tammy Abraham. So it's nice for him to like get a goal as well. Maybe who knows? We might buy him at the end of the year. So I'd like to
Dude,
see
I
him.
would have taken him in the Jan
The
window.
winter
Like
transfer.
He's
good.
yeah, he's bro. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't give him credit for France winning the World Cup, but he did a lot for that team. His hold-up play was absolutely phenomenal, dude. Like,
He's such a
but
threat.
he didn't score the goals, but everyone else scored for them. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
No,
think
but yeah, it's just a genius little play by Chelsea as well, and that could have again changed the impact of the game because I think the score would have been 1-1 then, and it would have been a bit more. Or was it after the second goal? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah,
I
it
think
would have
it
been
It was after. It was after the.
It was after. But yeah, I think there was still like 15 minutes to go, so there would have been enough pressure on Man
Yeah,
United afterwards as well. It could have made a
yeah.
difference. Well, it's nice to see that sometimes VAR decisions do go our way. Um, I know that the rest of the Twitter sphere and the rest of social media is going to roast me saying that, all right, Man United don't get away with much. Like they do have VAR and the referees on their side forever. But I strongly oppose that fact. Say that we did get lucky this time, and yeah, happy about that, I guess.
Dude, I think we definitely got lucky here because I think VAR assessing these offsides is kind of bullshit because dude, if they're giving the attacker like a toenail of space, right? But you cannot like accurately for sure tell through the nanosecond when the person who's crossing the ball in is actually touching the ball. You have to make an assumption. Oh, it looks like he's touching the ball here. So if you're giving like that like leeway to the defending team, I think you're just taking away goals, especially since it's just a toenail off. You can't for sure say that that ball was crossed at that exact second yet. So I think until the technology gets there, we should give the leeway to the attacking team. So I think Chelsea got fucked there. But to recap,
it was a rough game for Chelsea.
it was, dude, and like they played well. They played really well.
They played, I think they had moments of much better football than we did as well, which I have to give to them. But I guess they just didn't. I think this happened even in the last game, even the first time we met. They just failed to take chances. I mean, we see that too in our team from time to time. Like, but for some reason, every time it comes to Chelsea, like they're the ones doing it to us. So like they're the ones missing chances on us. So I think I don't know. Maybe we can also look at it in a way that Chelsea, that's where we were better, where we took our chances and they didn't. So
no, I agree with this, but like they were missing their two main strikers of their two main scorers and stuff. Not there. Tammy wasn't there. Mason Mount didn't start for some reason, which was very puzzling. N'Golo Kante obviously suffered an injury in the first 15 minutes.
That was bad. That kind of.
But I fuck injuries. Their midfield is still like insane.
Good. Yeah,
we're missing Rashford. We're missing Pogba.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
So like even when Mourinho just like on the side, because we keep shitting on Mourinho in our group chat, when he's talking about Harry Kane being out, I'm like, dude, like you still have a fucking stacked squad. So I hate these like, you know, we fucking suffer it too.
But the worst part is we face so much criticism for this, even though we are like riddled with injuries and Ollie keeps getting shit for, you know, not converting results and shit or games or whatever. But people like Chelsea and fucking Arsenal and stuff who have better teams than we do are still like fucking rotting, dude. They're not doing half as well as they can do. And I think Ollie's doing really well with the team we currently have. So fuck all you haters.
Ollie in.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good segue to the next topic, Karthik. But just to recap really quickly, so the 3 VAR decisions, Maguire red, who eventually scored. We think that it should have been a red card. Zuma's goal that Azpilicueta, interrupted. We agree with the VAR decision. And Giroud's goal were kind of like, I don't know, Karthik, what did you end up thinking? Did you say it should be a goal or not?
I said it shouldn't, considering the decisions that have been given before as well. So I don't think it should have been
Vishnu, what
given.
do you say?
Yeah, I don't think it should have been given as well because I think from the angle that we watched it in, at least, you could clearly see that there was a foot or at least ahead of the last defender. And when it comes to gray areas like this, you can't really complain.
Yeah,
It
and which is
shows
why it's weird, yeah. And
see,
it's
like you
like
can
that's why
take
we are.
this, you can connect this to cricket as well. So in terms of the DRS and stuff, there is a little bit of like error, which is about like a 5% or something. So these systems are maybe 95% efficient, and they are used to basically aid the referees, right? I'm not sure what
Right.
the initial, what did the referee gave it a goal initially? I think
Yeah.
there was no, they didn't call offside, but there must have been some sort of evidence that showed that this decision was overturned. So yeah, and I thought I saw it as well. So I don't see the problem with overruling this. It sucks. It sucks for Chelsea, but yeah, I think it's fair enough. VAR is there
Yeah,
for a reason.
I think, I agree with you guys, but I do think that the benefit of the doubt, just because the technology is not fully there yet, I feel,
Yeah.
because you can't see when the person is touching the ball. So we disagree on the last one, but again, I agree with you guys. I don't give a fuck. We won, and that's 3 points off on the board, and we're 3 points away from the top
Yeah.
four. And like Karthik was saying, Ollie is, he's taking this squad and he's doing a good job. And now in the 3 games that we've played Chelsea, we are up 8-1 as a total scoreline. Lampard gets fucking praised, even though he has an insane squad. His squad is fucking good. So I think, Ollie needs to be getting more credit. Vishnu, do we make the top 4 at this point?
It's a tough call considering Chelsea's on fourth right now.
Yeah.
This win against them, making it a complete 3-0 this year against Chelsea. So Solskjaer's absolutely owned Lampard this season, tactically,
Upped him.
completely threw all his tactics out of the window since they started in. So amazing. United are 7th right now. Both teams played 26 points, 26 games. Chelsea's on 41 points. United is on 38. But in between is also Tottenham, Sheffield, and Wolves. And just trailing behind us is also Arsenal and Everton. So there is
Wait, Wolves is ahead of us?
Yeah, Wolves are ahead of us, I think.
Oh,
But there's
shit,
a
were they?
7-point difference between the top 4 spot, and it's going to be a tight finish. But I feel like one thing to notice is that the last 4 matches that we've played, Man United, in total, not just the Premier League, it's all been clean sheets. So defensively, we've been doing amazing. The entrance of Bruno Fernandes into the side has also really boosted United's chances to make that top 4 spot. And yeah, regardless, I think that I think you're going to touch on this a little bit later, but with Manchester City's ban, I think there's 2 spots open now to get into the Champions League next year. So that does give us a very, very solid chance to go ahead and do it.
But just on that point, Vishnu, like something just came out. I just listened today, and they were saying that Man City are going to appeal and appeal and appeal. So it's going to get to the point where the ruling is not finalized by next season. So they still probably will play in the Champions League next year, which is bullshit because they cheated. We'll get to that later. But what's your final verdict? Are we making the top 4 or not?
Okay, we've got how many? There's 12 games left, right?
12 games.
We still do have some tough games ahead. I think we've got 2 or 3 more of the top.
Yep.
I think it's gonna come down to our final fixture, which is against Leicester. So, and okay, I'm gonna make this prediction right now. I think we're gonna beat Leicester that game, and we're gonna seize number 4.
Yes.
Let's go.
Oh,
Said it.
shit. Damn, dramatic finish. Fuck. Okay, I like it. Nice. Man, dude, I think it's just a matter of consistency. I think that's all we need right now. I mean, the scary part is, we've seen ourselves in this position before, really close to the top 4, and then something happens, and we're just like fucking miles away again, and now we're back here again. So, I mean, this has been, but I think now I'm hoping what's going to be different is the fact that we have a new addition to our team, which is Bruno. And then we have players coming back from injuries, like Bailey's back now, and he's showing some promise. And then we have, Scotty's coming back too. So that's fucking awesome. So yeah, I mean, I also see this going till the end of the season, us fighting for the top four right till the very end. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime before that. But the key is consistency. I know it's easier said than done, but I just think now it's more likely that we find that consistency considering the additions we have. So yeah, I want to be hopeful and say yes. And I don't want to go to the fucking end, even get a fifth spot, and then hope for Man City to not fucking make it. We'd rather just win all our games. Like the fucking aim should be to just fucking win all our games, even if it's like 1-0, 2-0, but just get those damn points in right now. I think that's all that matters.
I think we have a good shot. Like Spurs, watching them against Leipzig and watching the highlights there, they were so fucking shit. They don't have Son now, and Kane is out. Like they literally, and they have been in their last 10 games. I saw a stat. They have been over 50% possession once, and it was against Norwich.
It's Mourinho. It's fucking Mourinho.
Dude, it is disgusting how bad they are. So I think we can overtake Tottenham. Sheffield United, dude, you know, there's a part of me that wants them to make the top four spots, but I think, you know, they will fall out. I think we have to beat them in our game. Like, if we lose to them, then it's over.
I think it's
over.
And
Chelsea is just like, I don't know, their last 5 games in the Premier League have been like discussed. They haven't won a game in 5 or 6 games. So I think we have a good shot, and it's good that we have 2 options. We also have the Europa League, which we'll talk about in another episode. But I think, you know, we have to make the Champions League, because if we don't, Jadon Sancho will not be joining us. And I think if we can get 1 or 2 more people like in the squad, we easily can, you know, be fighting for, you know, those top 3 spots. So yeah.
Well, one more thing to point out is that we do have 4 crunch fixtures coming up after the Bruges game. We have Everton, we're playing first away, and then we've got an FA Cup against Derby. And then is the 3 big fixtures. We're playing City, Tottenham, and Sheffield back to back. We did amazing the last time we did play City and Tottenham. I'm hoping that it continues this time around. And I think these 4 or 5 games is going to completely dictate terms of where it's going to finish this year. And I think we'll have a clearer idea after that Sheffield game. We're going to say, all right, cool. United's either going to be in the top 4 or not.
Dude, I think if we lose like a majority of those games, or we don't do well, we should just say, okay, fuck the Premier League, rest our dudes up, and just go full on like Mourinho did in his first season and go for that Europa League. Because, you know, like you were saying, that is so critical. I didn't realize that that's the fucking fixtures coming up. If we lose, we're done. We're done, dude. So I just wanted to transition out of that into the final closing points, and with a few quick hitters. AWB finally making assists. He got another assist to make Martial.
That was beautiful.
Dude, what a turn, and then what a cross. That was pitch perfect.
The more you watch the highlights, he like so perfectly like wrapped his foot around that, and the ball. It was just everything about that play was just amazing, bro. And I think this is actually interesting because I wanted to bring this up while we were talking about the game earlier too. So I'm just quickly gonna hit this point. So even like both our goals are set pieces, right? And we haven't seen like a set piece goal in a while. I don't remember the last. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been a while since we've seen it. And our biggest thing was like deliveries into the box are just not good enough, which we're seeing now. The moment Bruno's come in. We saw that with the Maguire cross. He's just trying to find Maguire, and he finds people when he wants to find it. And you know, and Bissaka too is clearly working on his crosses, and that's evident. So yeah, I think set pieces is the fact that we're getting better at set pieces is a very good sign that we can probably still compete for top 4, because even if we don't dominate games completely, when we get these set pieces, if we can take advantage of those situations, I think that that's the way we could probably get those points that we kept dropping in the earlier parts of the season. But yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Bruno's right foot is ridiculous. His fucking free
Did you
kick
see
that
that
hit the
free kick?
post.
Man.
Oh,
Yeah.
baby.
But the
Dude.
goalkeeper had it saved in case, like, even if it did go, he was there. But the power in that, man, like, when I first
That,
saw it initially, I was like, okay, cool. This is like
it
a
was a
really
tough
good free.
angle too. Okay, it wasn't
Yeah, it
an
was.
easy angle for a right footer. Like, it wasn't
Yeah,
that easy, but yeah.
absolutely. Even for the near post as well, it's not
Yeah.
that easy to do. Then I saw the replay of it, and then his speed with his like foot, like the connection of the ball was insane. I think that there's a great thing as well that he's scored wonder goals in the Europa League for Sporting, and we've seen these like long range hits that he also attempted in the first game that he played. So, man, like that give this guy the golden boot already.
Dude, like the way he hits that ball is so sweet,
Yeah,
and it's so good to have Fred and like Pereira off free kicks and corners too. Like the
yeah,
Yeah.
ball was so perfectly weighted. That's why Maguire hasn't scored yet. For
Yeah. He's
Leicester,
not.
Maguire
Yeah.
was scoring at least 5 goals a year, but he wasn't
yeah.
scoring because Fred was knocking in the ball. I love Fred, but like
Yeah.
it's not good
Can't
enough.
make
He
a shot.
just.
Make a
Yeah.
shot.
Not for. I mean, the only
Yeah,
corner I think Fred took as well, like it just dropped in the near post and it was just cleared off pretty easily. So
yeah,
yeah, I think Bruno should just be taking set pieces
both sides.
straight up. But
And
yeah,
the second big news that came out in Ollie's press conference before Club Bruges, is that Rashford will be potentially out for the rest of the year and potentially missing the Euros.
Yeah,
That
oh fuck,
huge,
I didn't know about the Euros, man. Damn,
yeah,
that's insane. Shit. Yeah,
dude. That is huge. I thought he was coming back like at least a month before the
yeah,
end of the Premier League, but that really severely impacts our top four, and because we just don't score enough goals without him because he's such a threat. So I think that's huge news. We can talk on
yeah.
that later. But the last point that I really want to get into is that fucking titty boy Mino Raiola keeps fucking whapping his mouth about Paul Pogba
piece
leaving.
of
Dude, I just want like
Oh man.
Paul Pogba to leave.
shit.
And the big
It's just
story here is that Mino Raiola has been shopping Paul Pogba out to Juventus, Real Madrid,
Yeah.
PSG, and there's zero bids. He came out in
zero.
an interview
Yeah.
saying there's zero bids. So
I mean,
I don't know. Go ahead, Karthik.
who would want to fucking work with him, dude? Like, is he that? I mean, okay, so agree. A club that's been going through so much shit for the past 5 years, he's come out, and a player who's been with us for what, 3 seasons now. He is an important part of this club, and you represent that player too. So, isn't there some sort of responsibility, like the way you present yourselves to the media and stuff? Because where obviously other clubs don't want you because they feel like the moment like the club has a downfall, this guy's just gonna shit on you and be like, okay, the club is ruining this player's life. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, yeah, I just don't understand it. Pogba needs to just go now. It's too toxic. It's sad, but it's toxic. Like, he has to leave.
Yeah,
Yeah, Vishnu, what do you think?
I've got a lot to say on this
Yeah.
little piece of shit right here. First of all, like he came out publicly on his official Twitter account, talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer keeping Paul Pogba as a prisoner, which is a load of shit, considering how much.
What is this?
Considering how much like Solskjaer has defended Pogba over the last 6 to 8 months, where he's just been fucking around and saying that, you know what, he's still the best player in the world, and any team will be lucky to have him. And then this is my first point, like why in the middle of all this? So you might have a personal issue with Solskjaer or Man United, but there's no reason to do this publicly. And I understand that he also represents Jesse Lingard and Zlatan and Verratti and all these players, but screw it, man. Like we don't need any of you guys if we
And Haaland.
if we have like one of Haaland as well. That's where we fucked up as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like it does make sense, you know.
Yeah.
And one more thing is that what is Paul Pogba doing at all this while? And he knows that he's still contracted with Man United, and you can't have your agent creating drama between your own dressing room. This is affecting Manchester United in total. Like it affects the people he plays with because they'll think he's a scumbag now, and he's not speaking out. He's not calming the nerves. He's not giving any response to it. And I feel like relationships has really broken down between Solskjaer and Pogba now, just because he hasn't said a word, even not even defending his own manager. So I think this is more of Pogba the brand talking than Pogba the player, which is ridiculous. And just to touch on what you said as well, Juventus, Real Madrid are valuing him for 50, 60 mil, which is absolute.
Which is, dude, and that's the thing, even as a brand, it's such terrible fucking PR what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Pogba's not standing up for the fucking club. Raiola is just shitting. Which fucking club in its sanity would want a player? That to a player who has not played at all this season. I mean, barely, but whatever. Right?
What Pogba is doing, he's just getting ready for the Euros. Like, he does not want to get injured before the Euros. And I think the way they're angling this is Pogba's going to have a huge Euros, and then, PSG or Real Madrid is going to, urgently come in for him. But I agree with you. And by the way, what you were saying about Mino Raiola's client list, Lukaku just dropped him on his move to Italy because he felt that, Mino Raiola wasn't going to get in that move. I think Raiola's an idiot. Like, sometimes going to the media makes sense. Okay, sometimes you got to put it out there that we're looking for bids. Come talk to us. We can sign a pre-contract. But this is like blatant, like, fuck United. He's paying them hundreds of thousands of dollars per week or pounds, whatever it is. And like, you're blatantly saying, dude, I don't want to be here. It's shit, blah, blah, blah. And he's such an important part of our squad. And I think it's sad because Paul Pogba, no doubt, is one of the best center midfielders in the world. Yeah. No doubt, dude. And we're just, like, it's just ending so shitty. Like, it could have ended better than this. He didn't have to go to the media this often.
He's not even that old. He's only 27 years old. So he's still got a good 4 or 5 years being at this peak. And if you're getting riddled with injuries and you're affecting your value, maybe he does come back stronger and play really good for us, as he has shown us before. So whenever Pogba recovers from an injury or something, he comes back very strong. So maybe that will change it all. But I honestly think that Mino Raiola being part of this camp is
as long as Mino is his agent, dude, I don't think Pogba is going to stay anyway. So, and I don't think we need that right now too. So
I don't think he's playing another game for us. Like, this entire season, it's just going to be... Dude, Ollie in the pre-match for Club Brugge is just like, Pogba's not training with the team. He's training by himself. It's going to take a few months and a little bit of time. Like, dude, he's out. Like, I think we should just forget this guy. We have to get 100 million for him because, 50 million, like you're saying, that going around is an absolute joke.
But people also, like, no one's gonna we're not gonna let him go. Like, if people say like 60, 70 million, you're like, fuck off. Like, you've been just causing us trouble over trouble. Why the fuck would we accept this? Even if we were like, we were showing some sort of gratitude to saying, all right, cool, it's good for both of us to go our separate ways and you can get a better club, fine. But I don't think United's gonna pull that anymore. They've tolerated enough of this Pogba bullshit.
Yeah, dude. And his contract expires at the end of 2021, and United have the club option again to extend him out. So we have all the chips, like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. But it's sad because, again, Pogba has been good for us, and he's one of the best center midfielders in the world. And I wish he would have stayed and would have been happy at United. But I think that is a good place to end. Do you guys want to add any points before we wrap up?
I do. I just like whole community, everyone to wish Arman a very belated happy birthday.
All right, yeah.
Thank you, boys.
It was Arman's birthday.
He's 25. He's finally grown a pair. He's on a transition
of
becoming.
Balls have dropped. Yay! Finally.
Dude, so but actually, my birthday was when Chelsea beat United. I woke up to that.
Oh yeah, what a good birthday!
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Vishnu, and thank you, Ollie, because that was a fucking big one.
Absolutely.
All right, boy.
Just one more thing. Try and we're trying to get more active on social media, trying to start discussions. We've created a Facebook page now. We're on Twitter, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, and we're just trying to get a discussion going. We are everywhere. Tune in, just finish this episode. Tell us what you think. Leave a like. Put down some comments. Wish Armana a very happy birthday. Tell Karthik to get a beard cut, a beard trim or something. Just like
no one wants to see that, man. No one wants to see that. Trust me.
Because
the more famous we get, the more this beard is gonna grow out. So we'll wait for it.
Yeah, we love having a conversation with all you guys about different aspects of our podcast and also our views on different aspects on Manchester United or anything football related. So just chime in as much as you can.
Yeah. Perfect way to wrap up. Definitely leave comments, guys. We want to see what you guys think. We will be interacting with you. And as Vishnu said, we're on all social media platforms. Follow us, subscribe to us, and we will be back soon with another episode. See you guys.
See you, homies.
Bye.